This week I wanted to share with you guys a couple tips I learned in Google Calendar to be a little bit more productive. So one is called Focus Time, and the other is a notes feature when you're making appointments. So how you make an appointment in Google Calendar gives you a couple different options. So you can double click and it takes you into the detailed view of an appointment. And in that detailed view of an appointment where you invite guests, you schedule a room, you can add a Google Meet video code, all those things that we normally do, choose which of your many calendars you put that particular event on. Okay. You'll have this little button down here that says Create Meeting Notes. When you click on that, it will create a document automatically called Notes. So we'll call this Sample Meeting up here. And now you notice that the Notes document expands to Notes-Sample Meeting. When you open that Notes file, once your appointment is created, you will have a template that's already made that allows you to put notes in. That document will be housed in the meeting organizer's main Google Drive, so you might want to create a folder for meeting notes so that you can file them away. So when you click on it, you'll see what you get is attendees, which if you invited people to the meeting, they would already be here. A place for you to put bulleted list, and then a checklist that people can actually check things off that are action items. So for instance, I could put at PIET and choose that this is going to be a task for Gail. And then I can say make board presentation. And so you can make a checklist that people can check off. You can see that it's telling you that I mentioned that this is an item for Gail, but I didn't invite her. So I can click share and it'll share this document with her. It won't add her to the calendar appointment, but it will share the document with her. Okay, so that's how you make a notes document to go with any meeting. It'll be there for all attendees to participate in. And so you don't have to pre-make a document and stick it somewhere. It's part of the calendar process now. Okay, and again, that'll appear in your main Google Drive, right in your main folder. So if you have a lot of things in there, it's going to get very hectic, but it'll be in there under notes, dash, and then the name of the meeting. So you might want to create a separate folder to file that away in. All right, the other quick suggestion I have for you in Calendar is you can see calendars get fairly busy with different meetings, different venues being booked, etc., like that. And so one thing you can do to reserve time for yourself when you have to work on a task is to click only once in your calendar, and it'll bring up the short version of a meeting. Instead of doing an event, a meeting, click on Focus Time. And what this will do is it'll allow you to reserve time on your calendar to accomplish tasks that you need to accomplish without being disturbed, because you can automatically say, decline any meetings that are sent to me for this time period because I'm going to be working on task. You can include a message for people who have access to see your calendar. So declined because I'm working on meeting agenda. All right. And you can do rooms locations too. If you want to book a room for it, you can decide which of your calendars to put it on. But notice you don't have all the options that you do for an appointment, and there is no expand options here. Focus Time is only a single click on your calendar, and it's a very quick, brief meeting that you set up and say, save and decline any meeting attempts people send me for that time period because I'm going to be focused. So there's 2 tips in Google Calendar that came out this recent week: how to add notes and how to add focus time for what we learned this week.
Hi, today I'm going to show you how to import classes to Google Classroom via our new workflow and integration. So right here, you have this classes tab on your sidebar. You're then going to go to the drop-down menu right here and click Import from Google Classroom. This will open up a Google Classroom permissions page for you all to see. From there, once you approve all of the information for Google Classroom, you'll see this screen right here, and you'll see all your classrooms that are currently out in Google Classroom. You are actually going to go and select the import button. This will import all of your students into Google Classroom, making it available for you to go and then sync actual assignments to this class. Now that I've had this class created and all of my students have been imported, I'm going to go to the assignment page. Now I'm going to show you how to assign a bulb to your Google Classroom through our new workflow. So from here, you're actually going to go in to our three-dot toggle to the bulb that you wish to select. You're going to go to assign. Now you'll notice that your Google Classrooms have been imported, and now you can assign it. So you'll set the date to create this link. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click this button, Share to Classroom. This will open up our Google Classroom assign sequence right here. Here, you can set your date that you wish to be assigned, the maximum amount of point, your due dates, your description, just like that. And you can create an assignment. And then you can actually view that assignment by clicking this button, Launch Google Classroom. And here, your assignment is in your test course that you assigned. And for amount of points, the due date, you can then go in and check student work.
This week, I planned a lesson and I went back to the building blocks template to help me. One area I tried to focus on was the split end of the lesson or trying to differentiate the instruction. If I'm being honest, differentiation has always been intimidating to me, but I came across a great article that helped me view it as a much more doable idea and one to implement in the block. I'll link the article in its entirety at the end of this video, but I did want to hit some key points. The work is based on a University of Virginia professor, Carol Ann Tomlinson, who is a leader of educational work on differentiated instruction. And she defines it as thinking about students' individual learning styles and levels of readiness before even starting to design a lesson plan. The article suggests that you can differentiate instruction in four different ways: on content, on process, on product, and on environment. When you differentiate the content, you can start by designing activities for groups of students that cover various levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Students who are unfamiliar with the lesson could be required to complete tasks on the lower levels, like remembering and understanding. Students with some mastery could be asked to apply and analyze the content, and students who have high levels of mastery could be asked to complete tasks in the areas of evaluating and creating. Another way to differentiate instruction is through the process. Every student learns differently. Some might be visual, auditory, kinesthetic, linguistic. The list could go on. Some students may need a lot of support from the teacher. Some might want to work alone in pairs. All of these things should be taken in consideration when you're thinking about the process of learning. A teacher can differentiate by product, which is letting the student show mastery of an educational concept in a way that the student prefers based on their own individual learning style. Finally, the article states that you can differentiate by learning environment, letting a student choose how they want to learn in the classroom, having a flexible classroom layout. Please find a sample differentiated language arts lesson plan here. You can pause the video if you'd like to look at it in depth. It shows differentiation by content, process, and product. I hope this article can help anyone that's looking for ways to differentiate instruction in their classroom. I would be more than happy to sit and brainstorm with you or help implement it in your instruction. And you can find the full article at this address.